This video contains information that may be offensive and disturbing to some people. If you are a viewer and are triggered or shocked by images and need a warning prior to every clip or story being discussed, then please unsubscribe from my channel immediately. My channel covers the harsh reality of even the worst crimes imaginable and is for adults only. For those of you who fit into this category, take this message as your warning and don't watch any further. Freaks. Yeah. Here's the thing, everybody. All the bitching and complaining over there on the Drapers channel. They said he said they wanted me to do the show on Friday, and I said sure, that'd be great. But then I didn't hear back, and then it said we've decided to pass. Nothing personal. Well, of course it's personal, right? We appreciate your hard work, and we learned some good lessons from our trip to Delphi. Yeah, the lesson should be that you need to be freaking accurate before you put out a goddamn video, okay? All right, but anyways, I was just going to go on there and, show them all of the things that are known. And, I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to do it because it kind of cuts into my show time. And I really don't give a shit, Basically, the whole thing is to help other people actually understand what the hell's going on. So they can go out and put their garbage crap out there all day long to the joy of their fans, and that's all I can tell you. I've never seen anybody put out. First they put out a video that was bullshit. Then the next day they put out a video that was complete, just absolute crap, after they knew that the first one was wrong. I mean, why not take the damn time to learn it, okay? All right, great. And, 90% of the comments in their community posts were positive. But there was always that 10%, ooh, they just hate me so much. And they probably caved in to those idiots. But, man, I definitely kept commenting back to all of them, because that's how I do it, everybody. That's how I do it. All right, so I don't care at all. I was just going to do it out of being polite. It doesn't actually help my channel at all. And I wouldn't want those kind of people that are so feverishly interested in bullshit information to be on my channel. Okay, so all right. So was there any extra information that came out in the case today of that 3-year-old? Hold on a second. Let me I got to get to my correct folder, because it took me so long to get all the information. Braylon Noble. Let me just see. Okay, it looks like it doesn't look like there's anything new there. But what I was going to tell you is they found new
details in the death investigation of a 3-year-old toddler whose body was pulled from a swimming pool yesterday. The coroner did not make a final ruling on the little boy's death. 13 ABC's Alexis Means joins us now live with more on the boy's autopsy. Alexis.
Diane, the coroner says the child had no signs of trauma, but she says that this case needs further investigation.
The memorial at Hunter's Ridge Apartments continues to grow with balloons, candles, and teddy bears. People are praying for answers to what happened to 3-year-old Braylon Noble.
Feeling pretty emotional. I'm trying not to cry, but that's real sad.
Noble's body was pulled from the pool at the Hunter's Ridge Apartments Wednesday afternoon. An autopsy performed on the child did not reveal much. In a statement, the coroner said,
No, the worst part, Cairo, is Randy told him where the right spot was. And they had filmed already the incorrect spot. But instead of being, having integrity, they put the video out from the day before anyways, even though it had incorrect information, because they just wanted the views and the hits and get everybody to, it's just garbage. I hate shit like that.
Braylon showed no anatomic cause of death and no gross evidence of trauma. Drowning has not yet been ruled out as a cause of death, but further studies and investigation are needed before the final ruling is issued.
It's a lot to think about. It's a lot on my mind right now that,
listen, this definitely is a weird case, okay? Yeah, there's no way around it. This one is definitely strange, okay? Because, just as a quick recap, you remember the child went missing from the 3rd floor of one of these apartments right here, and apparently they'd already checked this pool. The FBI, the divers were in this pool and everything looking. Then they looked all around through the woods, and then days later they find the child's body in the same pool here. And then apparently the pool was closed. Maybe the gate was open. I don't know. I don't have any idea about that kind of information. But it's very weird, just in general, that during that time of day, it was just kind of in the afternoon, that a child could crawl around and nobody's going to say, hey, where's your mom? Goes in, down some steps right here, down into the water, and drowns. And then search divers miss finding the body. I mean, the people that search the pool. I mean, it's kind of dumb to say, oh, they were diving in a 2-foot, whatever they were doing in there. They were probably divers, but they walked around and felt around, and maybe they just missed him. But I mean, all those things together are odd, right? So, but it's interesting now. One of the things that is interesting is that there's no marks on the body. Like they can't tell how. I guess they didn't really say if there was bruising or not, but he said there was no indication of how he died right off the bat. But you'd think falling off a 3rd story, 2.5 stories is what it looks like. Kind of like the 1st floor is buried under the ground a little bit. That you have some bruising going on. So there you go. It's kind of a conundrum. But that's why you don't jump to conclusions. I just threw out some theories of possibilities of what may have happened, that maybe they accidentally killed him somehow, then they put him in the woods, then went back, put him here. That kind of makes some sense. Maybe he crawled over here and somebody else put him here, or maybe somebody else abducted. There's just 1,000 different theories now that you could put out at this point. No, really? The Celtics were up 3-0, weren't they? I knew it was going to do something like that. Against Toronto, right? Yeah, no signs of a fall. Okay, that's what I thought I read earlier. I was wondering if my brain was not good. So that's weird. So if there's no sign of a fall, then why would they think he went out the window? Is it possible they left the door open and this 3-year-old went down the steps and went all the way out? And, it gets really confusing at that point. And by the way, everybody, I just want to let you know, as I've said a million times, even if you're a Democrat in here and you're voting for Biden, I like you just as much as everybody else. We just won't be agreeing on that aspect of our worlds, and who gives a crap, okay? I don't think anything less of you of being people. And I've said that 1,000 times. I might, be like getting into an argument with you. But it's amazing how there's other people out there that are so ridiculously feverish about it. Like literally saying crap like, if you believe that, if you vote for Trump again, unfriend me. I don't want it to, it's just, you're a joke. Okay? You're an embarrassment when you talk like that. Okay? I just try to throw out stuff that bother me sometimes and point out the hypocrisy of the media, and hopefully sometimes you can see stuff that maybe you hadn't normally paid attention to, like, wow, that is weird. That is weird. Huh. You know, like, for example, do you remember when we first started early on? You know, I had my brother on, and I'd cover the press conferences, and I would tell you guys, look at Trump he's painting a rosy picture to give hope to people. Remember how I'd say that all the time? He's giving hope to everybody. He's not trying to freak everybody out. Okay? We all knew that it was airborne and everything, right? But he was trying to, you know, quote, downplay it. So with this whole thing that came out right now, it didn't even shock me a bit at all. That's exactly what he was doing. Okay? I think it's very important. Do you guys remember how there was runs of all of the stores where people were removing, you know, all the toilet paper, all the food? There was like shelves empty everywhere. Maybe not in the center of the United States, but on the coast, stores were empty because people were panicking. And then he kind of calmed people down. Hey, we're going to get the antivirals. We're going to do, you know, and then it made people feel like there was hope, and they, you know, it didn't happen. But could you imagine if he came out and he literally was saying shit, hey, thanks, Lee Dobby, like, you guys, this is the most dangerous virus we've ever seen, ever. We're going to have to shut everything down for the foreseeable future. We'll let you know. But, oh, my God, it would have turned into the Walking Dead scenario where people were going around killing. It's a freaking nightmare, like survival types. Yeah, so I'm just trying to let you know that I think the way it was played out was very presidential. And you can even hear it in his voice when he was explaining it to Woodward. He said, I just don't want there to be panic. You know, he was thinking of the people. And it's funny because the way it's spun. Oh, my God, he lied to everybody. He should have. It's ridiculous. Okay? All right. So those are the things that bother me when you see it. It's crazy. That's all I'm saying. Now, if you don't like him, you'll see it a totally different way, because then it fits your, you know, your political beliefs and how you want it to turn out at the end of the year. And, you know, it's funny. I guarantee it. Most of the time when I'm talking about Democrats, I'm talking about the political class. Okay, I guarantee it that there isn't one person that's an actual Democrat politician that wants Biden to win, that wants a vaccine to happen before the November election. There isn't one of them. They want people to not have a vaccine prior to that because they know it would help him. So that's what you got to look at. So, of course, if one comes out before, it's not been tested, even though they just canceled one, did a pause on one because there was one, like, spinal inflammation. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, you know, and here's the thing, Lisa, as I totally get why people don't like him. 100%. I've explained it to. He bugs me sometimes. The constant having to bring up his accomplishments, but and then there's the but of that. Like, the media will never tout anything that he does. Like, for example, he just got recommended for the Nobel Peace Prize. Did any of you know that? He got nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize for his work on Israel and the United Arab Emirates and the Kosovo, I can't remember, Bosnia, Kosovo. Yeah, so none of you would have heard that because it's only one channel that's going to talk about it, and that would probably be Fox News. The rest of them, forget it. All right? They don't give a shit. So that's the kind of stuff that bothers me. Yeah, you saw a little blurb. Imagine if it was Biden who got nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. How many of you think you would have heard of it then, and how big of a story would it have been? Right. That's what I thought. So just observe the... No, it wasn't Crimea. It was the... It was, remember the Bosnians? I think it was Serbia, and... Shit, I can't remember. Croatia, maybe? Yeah, well, good for bin Laden's niece. She probably liked that they took out the Shiite Iranian Suleiman. Well, Blue just had a shower. He's rubbing all over the ground. Oh, look at him. Oh, wait, let me flip it over. He's crazy when he... Can you see him? Look at that. Go get him, Blue. Go get him. Look at, he's like stuck. What are you doing, Blue? Come on. Yeah, he's rubbing himself in the... Oh, and then he takes off. And then Chloe's next. She's right here. There's Blue. There's Blue. Yeah. Yeah, tomorrow, 9/11's tomorrow. It's always kind of creepy when like Fox News usually play, I don't know if they're still doing that, but they would play as it was, So as if you're really watching the news again. It was it's horrifying. I remember it. That was a huge moment in my life. Just that whole thing. Oh yeah, jeez. Well, tell him happy birthday. Kind of a crappy day to have a birthday, but What does that mean, padded from COVID? Oh, passed, probably. Yeah, that's crazy. No, it's not his fault at all. Yeah, it's the Chinese fault. Because what happened in reality is that a virus got out in a lab. It wasn't something it was just, they were doing studies on the coronavirus in bats. It transferred to a human, and they blamed it on the wet markets, but that's not how it got out. And then it got transferred to the rest of humanity. Yeah. And I think we did it the right... I mean, I know for people who had relatives or friends that died, it doesn't seem great at all. But the majority of the people that died are all, the elderly people with other conditions. And the virus, exacerbated those other conditions, and then they end up dying. So, I think the way it's turned out, in some ways, it was sort of like, there's a lot of other ramifications that happen if you let the economy absolutely collapse. I think it was amazing how it just kind of kept afloat a little bit, and now it's coming back. And we just got to get the vaccine, damn it. That's it, man. As soon as you get the vaccine. Yeah. But that's just how it works politically, Cairo. It's they have to put all the fault on Trump. They have to do it. Well, this is just me. This is an actual crime show, and Keegs, or however you pronounce it. But I just I don't know what happened there. I just started talking about something again. I just want to say that, what I'm trying to tell is, if you're a Democrat and you're voting for Biden and everything, I like you just as much as all the rest of the subscribers. That's just one thing. And well, I guess you call them freak family members. We wouldn't, that's just one thing we probably aren't going to agree on, right? Who cares? But I'm not going to go, oh my God, unfriend me immediately. Losers do that. Yeah, well, we're about ready to talk about 2 cold cases in Missouri. All right. So there was a third one, but it's so short. I just felt like I was going to jump in with the 2 longer ones that I've got. Oh, wow. Nortoris Nance is a 5.2 dark. You're right on the edge of oblivion. But I tell you what, I think if we cast the right spells, we might be able to get you out. Jennifer Cochran Fent has been a 5.2 dark for quite a while now. Oh, and thank you, Lee Dobby up there. And thanks, Kit Kat. There you go. Honk if you're a super freak. Yeah, some of these older cases, it's really hard to find precise locations because highways change location. I think I may have found something, but it's hard to tell. All right, so now we're gonna start off with a woman named Carol Blades, and yes, just remember we are still raising the funds for the end of the month. Doing pretty well, kind of keeping up with last month a little bit, which is behind the month before, but it's pretty good. Who's Skippy? Yeah. That's right. I mean, Lori's Daybell's actually higher on the scale than Maroney. I mean, she's amazing. Right up there. I wonder what she's thinking now. Maroney, save me! So here we go. We're starting off with Carol Blades, 1969. You guys ready? All right, here we go. So there must have been something above, but probably law enforcement seek. Hey, thanks, Liz Parsons. Seek Nixa housewife 20 missing since Monday. No trace has yet been found of Mrs. Carol Blades. I'm not sure why it says Neva there. 20 of Nixa, according to Christian County Sheriff deputies. So it's Carol Blades, 20 years old. Miss Blades has not been seen since 4:30 p.m. on Monday when she left home, and this is Wednesday, so it must have been the 15th. When she left home to drive to a coin-operated laundry. Let me turn down the music. Her car was found abandoned near Nixa at 9:30 p.m. and clothing she laundered was still in a machine. This is kind of like that one I think where Cairo went out to that apartment complex. Remember that with the laundry? She was doing laundry. I think it was in the apartment laundry room though. The laundered was still in a machine in the laundry at 11 p.m. So, no clues concerning the disappearance have been discovered, and officers have not yet ruled out the possibility of foul play. Mrs. Blades is described as being 5 foot 2 inches tall, weighing 115 pounds, with a pale complexion, brown hair, and brown eyes. Then 2 days later, they find the keys from auto of housewife. Baffled officers here are continuing their intense search for clues to lead to a 20-year-old Nixa housewife who mysteriously disappeared Monday. Deputies report they have no leads today of the hunt for Mrs. So I guess it says Neva Carol Blades, but nobody calls her that, who failed to return after leaving home about 4:30 p.m. Monday to do wash at a coin laundry. The latest find has been a set of keys to Mrs. Blades' car discovered yesterday about 100 feet from where her auto was found abandoned near the laundry on US 160 north of here Monday night. So it's found north of here. Let me do that again. Because the description I got that it was south of whatever road this is. So I guess, God, wouldn't that be weird if it was up there? Let me just type in laundromats. Nixa. Laundromats stay around for a long time. Yeah, so that's the only one. Well, you know what? Maybe that's it. Hold on. No. It doesn't look right. Yeah, no, that's not it. So the other one matched where I had thought it was, in this area. So when they say north of here, I'm not really sure, because Nixa is, that's this town here. So north seems like it would be over here, which would be kind of closer to that, but laundry on US 160 north of here Monday night. The women's clothes were found in a machine at the laundry, and authorities say they are not ruling out the possibility of foul play. Officers, assisted by reserve deputies from Greene County, have combed the area surrounding the car and laundry, but the keys are the only new clue turned up so far. Mrs. Blades is described as being 5'2", weighing 115 pounds, with pale, I think it meant to say complexion, it says competition, brown hair and brown eyes. And then this is the 21st. Late last Monday afternoon, Mrs. Neva Carol Blades, 20, a Nixa housewife, left her home to go to a laundromat. She has not been seen since. The clothes she intended to wash were found at the laundromat. Her car was found not far away, and the keys to it were found later about 100 feet from the car. At week's end, officers had no further clues. Yeah, that same day, there's another one. The search for Mrs. Neva Carol Blades. Let me check something out. Hold on. I was looking at this article that had it. Let me see if they actually say that. No, it's just Carol Blades. There's no Neva in there. The search for Miss Neva Carol Blades, who had been missing since Monday night, was called off Saturday after a futile search by dozens of men. Christian County Sheriff Buff Lamb said last night he had located no concrete evidence of the whereabouts of Miss Blades. Several pilots from Springfield flew over the area for hours Saturday, and the State Highway Patrol plane from Jefferson City joined the search, but to no avail. The search Saturday centered from the James River Bridge north of Nixa to Highlandville and west of Nixa for that distance. The only current possibility of a lead is a 16-year-old boy who reportedly told a friend he knew of Mrs. Blades' whereabouts. The youth is being sought for questioning. And that's her right there. She's got that 1960 short haircut do right there. And this is and right now I'm actually moving forward to June of the next year. So Larry Blades still is looking for his wife. She disappeared 6 months ago. He hopes she's still alive, and an experienced Springfield private detective is betting his bad she isn't. Carol Blades went to the laundromat in Nixa in the middle of the afternoon of December 15th. She was coming back home to wake her husband around 5 p.m. so he could get ready for his job on the third shift at spring day. There was a nip in the air. The temperature was hovering just below freezing, and she pulled the white fur coat she was wearing on tight as she carted her laundry out to the car. See, this is way more detail now. She had put up the young couple's Christmas tree that afternoon after a bit of shopping in Springfield. Right, and Springfield is just north, right up here. I think this is Springfield, right up in this area. Yeah, Springfield there. And Nixa is right down here. That's the center of the town. That's where the... So when they say north of here, I'm trying to figure out if they're actually referring to somewhere up here. Uh-oh. Did you get your shower, Chloe? Nope. Yeah, Blue and Chloe are wrestling now. Yeah! This is 1969. See, I'm doing the ones that you don't hear about very much, okay? Maybe the next one you have, but I hadn't, so that's all I really care about. I mean, there was a little doubt she was... Well, let me do this part. She had put up the young couple's Christmas tree that afternoon after a bit of shopping in Springfield. There is little doubt she was thinking about a special post-Christmas present she and her husband were expecting. Is that pregnant? Man, that sucks. Or maybe adopted. What does it say? The county welfare agency had just cleared them as suitable parents for adoption. Oh, wow. Hey, thanks, Felicia Abbott. She had checked off next month's payment to the attorney who was handling the adoption proceedings for them on a calendar where she recorded all bill payments. Carol Blades drove over to Nixa and put her clothes in the machine at the laundromat. It was 2:55. It was the last time she was seen. Larry Blades said he heard the telephone ring. See, the thing is, it gets dark that time of year, you know, around 4 or something. Well, you don't have to worry about it. Just, if I say something mean, you know, quote mean, don't take it personally. It's just sort of like, you know. But thank you. Carol Blades drove over to Nixa and put her clothes in the machine in the laundromat. It was 2:55. Larry Blades said he heard the telephone ring at 7:15 p.m., looked outside and saw it was dark. He wondered why his wife hadn't gotten him up earlier, because remember he was supposed to get up at 5. The caller was a friend of his. After he got, let's see, let's keep going down here. Okay. After he got his friend off the line, he called Carol's cousin in Nixa and asked her to go check and see if she was still at the laundry. He had noticed the laundry basket were missing from the couch. Right, so the husband thought, okay, the laundry baskets are missing. Can you go over there and check on her? Because the friend lived in the town of Nixa. I don't know where they lived. Maybe they lived in Springfield, or I'm not sure why they would. You know, they must live outside of the town for all of this to be taking place. The cousin called back to say Carol wasn't at the laundry, but the car was on the side of the road about 2 blocks from it. So, okay, we got that. 2 blocks from it. Christian County Sheriff, Law Enforcement, or LE. I don't know if it means law enforcement. I'm sure they weren't doing it. LE, his name is LE Buff Lamb, showed up about an hour later. He authorized a wrecker from Ozark. Now, how unfortunate to be somebody in law enforcement with the initials LE. Oh, boy. He did not issue a missing persons bulletin. That was Monday. Wednesday, Blades called Jim Winfrey, a private detective in Springfield and a friend of the family. Winfrey came down and drove around. So it must have been, they must live in Springfield. Winfrey came down and drove around in the vicinity of the laundry. He noticed some skid marks in the gravel where the car had been located. He stuck his finger into the black puddles, marking the exact location of the oil. Thursday, Winfrey and Blades went to the garage where the car had been towed. There was oil all over the firewall. There was mud on the windshield and fresh scratches on both sides of the car. The antenna on the back of the car was bent and torn from the car's body. Huh. That's crazy. There was mud on the windshield and fresh scratches on both sides of the car. So, man, that's so weird. Because she wouldn't have got back in her car with laundry still in the... So this seems like somebody got there and then put her into her car. I don't know. It's just really strange, to be honest with you. Blades told Winfrey... So the car broke down, though. So that's the thing. Blades told Winfrey he had the car filled with gas and the windshield washed the morning of the 15th. There were 8.5 gallons of gasoline missing from the tank. More than a woman would use... You know what I bet? I bet you the person used her car to dispose of her body and then put it back there. That's what I bet. And when they went to dispose of the body, that's when scratches and whatnot got onto that vehicle. That's the only thing that makes sense. I think they were at that laundromat. She was abducted from there. And, you know, even though the car had problems, he just got it back there and parked it, and that's why there's scratches on the side and there's dirt on the windshield. Tracing Carol Blade's route on the shopping trip to home and the laundry in the car, Winfrey concluded the car had traveled about 65 miles more than necessary for the trip. Buff Lamb and his deputies... I hadn't read this whole article, so... Buff Lamb and the deputies had looked over an area within 5 miles of the laundry and given up. Winfrey quotes Lamb as guessing... let's see. Guessing, and I got another... Guessing it had run off. The private investigator doesn't think so. I worked 27 cases of missing persons last year and I found them all except her. Let me go back to that last one. What did it say at the end there? Yeah, that's weird. Another... Oh, so she probably killed herself in that one. Let's see. Buff Lamb and his deputies have looked over an area within 5 miles of the laundry and had given up. Winfrey quotes Lamb as guessing Carol Blades, and then I think it says ran off, right? Had run off. Okay. The private investigator doesn't think so. I worked 27 cases of missing persons last year and I found them all except her, he says. And I'll find her or I'll throw away my badge. Checking with friends and family, Winfrey has come up with a personality sketch of the petite 5'2", 115 pounds brunette. She is a shy girl. She didn't make friends easily, and she was rather naive. She wouldn't run off, and she didn't have any boyfriends. Larry Blades had a lonely 6 months. He has circulated posters bearing the picture of his wife and her description. Today is the young couple's 3rd wedding anniversary. Larry Blades is afraid he will have to celebrate it alone. Okay. And now we are in October, so 4 months later. Husband keeps lonely vigil for missing Carol Blades. Does a woman think of the time she will adopt a baby, put up her Christmas tree, take clothing to the laundry, and then run away from home? And the answer is no. Or was Carol Blades kidnapped last December 15th? That is the mystery that has racked the minds of her husband, Larry, her parents, Louise and Gerald Horton. See, isn't it? It's cool to be able to go through these articles because, you know, in real time, these people, you know, you're waiting 10 months to be able to read this. But when you do it like this, it's all sort of in order, recaps and all of them, so that you kind of keep remembering, and then a little bit of new stuff. A $10,000 or $1,000 reward for information leading to the finding of Carol Blades, who was 20 when she disappeared, as completely as a wisp of smoke has been standing for several weeks. So far, not one iota of information has come as a result of the reward offer. Let's see. After avoiding the 5-room bungalow west of Nixa for several months, Larry Blades, now employed as a service station in Nixa, has returned home to keep a lonely vigil. His wife's clothing still hangs in the closet beside his. Her shoes, her sewing, her knickknacks, her high school yearbooks, which he coveted, all are silent reminders to Larry Blades of his wife that was, but so far, as he believes, is no more. He is preparing to give up the house, to turn away and perhaps mend his broken life someday. I think she is dead, he said recently, gritting his teeth to keep the quiver out of his jaw, but failing to stem the moisture around his eyes. Look at the writing back then, too, huh? Larry Leo Blades, now 23, is the son of Eli and Wilma Blades of Republic. He was graduated from high school at Clever in 1964 and went to work at General Wesco in Springfield. There he worked with a man named Lewis Horton, and he soon found out that Horton had a shy, petite daughter named Carol. So that's how they ended up meeting. Just a second. I'm not going to read all this, but I might cut to the bullet points or whatever. This is a big one. By then, Larry Blades was employed at Springfield working the midnight shift. He got off work at 7 a.m., got home about 8 a.m. After stopping at Jerry Bullen's service station in Nixa to fill up his 1965 Chevrolet Impala. Carol was up and about when he got home, and he fell into bed, weary from the night's work, and was almost immediately asleep. In the back of his mind was the knowledge that Carol, as usual, would awaken him in the late evening, and he would eat dinner. I'm not sure why they needed to tell us that. Who could tell at those hours? The telephone ringing awakened him, and he noticed the clock hand stood at 3:45. By the time he got to the telephone, however, the caller had impatiently hung up. Noticing Carol was not home, that the car was gone, he crawled back into bed to grab a little more sleep. So now this one says that he did get a phone call at 3:45, but he didn't answer it in time. So that could have been his wife calling him. He did notice that the clothing she had spoken of as needing to be laundered was gone. He noticed also that the Christmas tree was up in the living room. So, like, while he was sleeping, she was putting up the Christmas lights, and then she said, I'll do some laundry, just doing what normal people do, He expected to be awakened at 5 or 5:30. At 6:45 p.m., the telephone rang again. With some alarm, he noticed the short winter day was gone. That night had closed in around the little place west of Nixa. He answered the telephone, and it was a friend asking him to help tear down a float used in the Nixa Christmas parade. Something he could not define, however, disturbed him. Jimmy said, Have you seen Carol? No, isn't she home? The person said. Larry hung up, puzzled. He thought of calling Sue Horton, Carol's cousin, whom she frequently visited. Negative again. Sue, he said, would you get into your car and run down to the laundry and see if Carol is there? And he waited for the return call. Sue Horton telephoned and said, Larry, Carol's clothing is still in the washer and the laundry, and your car is out on the highway, Highway 160. You'd better come and see. Thoroughly shaken now, Larry Blades admittedly didn't know. See, now think about it like this. If she was abducted, let's say 3, 4 o'clock, and this lady's only getting out there, or her friend is only getting there at around 7, there was plenty of time to take her somewhere, bring the car back. Thoroughly shaken now, Larry Blades admittedly didn't know what to do other than ask Sue Horton to come. So here's where it's, let's see. Didn't know what to do other than ask Sue Horton to come after him. She drove him to the car, and he opened the door to find a sack of cookies in the car, which he had not purchased. Well, that's interesting. Did she purchase those? Back of the driver's seat. He found the photograph section, which belonged in her billfold, but the billfold was gone, missing. They drove into Nixa, asked around, and the only person they could find who had seen Carol was Jerry Bolin. He was working at his service station, he said, and he saw Carol sometime in the afternoon leaving the store. A check of the store revealed she had bought a pack of the cookies. So she's the one that bought the cookies. I decided it was time to call the law, Larry said, and I came home and called Buff Lamb, the sheriff. I told him what the deal was, and he said he would get over as soon as he could. I went back to the car, and the deputies showed up, and then Buff got there about 8 p.m. A lot of my friends and the Jaycees showed up with flashlights and started looking all around for her. We found out that Ruth Moore, who lives next to the laundry, had seen a strange car around the laundry that afternoon. Her husband, Jerry, they owned the laundry, said he thought the car was a light green or green and white 1953 or 54 Chevy. After getting a search underway and driving into Greene County to pick up a mugshot of a suspect to show to Mrs. Moore, Larry Blades and Sheriff Lamb checked out the car. There was oil all over the motor and the firewall, Larry said. Buff said, Larry, I'm thinking about something else. Did she ever tear up a car before? I told him she had, and Buff said he figured she had, torn up the car and was scared and got a ride to Springfield and caught a bus and went to Oklahoma to her folks. Come on. Jeez, that's ridiculous. The theory didn't check out, however, and when Larry called his in-laws, they had seen nothing of her. While the sheriff continued the investigation, Larry went home. Several friends went with him to keep him company and stay the night. The next morning, Larry went to the... By the way, this article we're reading is from 1970. 50 years ago. Isn't that crazy? I mean, look at the detail in these articles. You can't get anything close. Not only that, they can't write worth shit. So you're looking at something that is very descriptive. Like right now, we pretty much know the entire, how it all played out that night. Let's see. Several friends went with him to keep him company and stay the night. The next morning, Larry went to the home of his parents, and his mother knew by the look on his face and the fact Carol was not with him that something was wrong. I wish you could have seen the blank look on Mother's face, he said. She thinks Carol was her own daughter. In the following days, Larry didn't go back to work, but sat numb and disbelieving as Sheriff Lamb and dozens of Larry's friends continued the search. The keys to the car were found in a small field east of where the car was parked. Almost like the guy, as he's driving out, just chucked the keys to her car, because he wouldn't want to use his car to do his whatever he was doing, right? Let's see. East of where the car was parked, headed north on US 160. See, I think it was right here, because this is listed as a laundromat now. Even this is 160. And when you go down and you look at it, it's under construction right here, and this is from 2019, but it had a very similar shape. And look, it's a laundromat. Look how old that sign is here. So I would bet money that this is it. Okay, and I'll show you some pictures here in a little bit. Is this interesting for you guys? Because I think this is one of the more interesting ones, mainly because there's so many details that are given. Let's see. The keys to the car were found in a small field east of where the car was parked, headed north on US 160. That makes sense. 3 persons were located who reported they were driving onto the highway when they saw the Blades car coming from the south, driven by a man. That the man stopped the car, jumped out, and ran diagonally across the small field towards the laundry. Oh, that's interesting, because that's where his car was parked. See, we were right. I think that's got to be it. As they drove along toward the laundry, Larry said, something caused them to look at the man, and they saw he was carrying a coat over his arm. When they drove closer and he looked up and saw them, he threw the coat up so it covered part of his face. Oh my God. They drove on and didn't think any more about it until they learned Carol was missing. Wow. That's insanity. Days wore on, and Jim Winfrey, a former Greene County deputy sheriff with whom Larry Blades had worked at a bakery and who is now a private investigator, telephoned Larry. He said, I don't want a penny for my work. All I want to do is find her. Jim worked 2 weeks, Larry said, and then his dad got killed down in Tennessee, and he left to go down there for several weeks. He talked to all the witnesses and once located a man in jail in Illinois who was accused of killing 1 or 2 other women and who had been in the county about the time Carol disappeared, but that didn't work out. Thanks, Nan Sullivan. Winfrey finally put in so much time on the case that the family employed him, and he worked steadily for about 3 weeks before he called off and turned over all the information to Sheriff Lamb. The sheriff reports that his deputies and state troopers have driven... I guess I am reading most of that long-ass article because it was so detailed. Despite the feeling of many persons who believe Carol was kidnapped, however, Sheriff Lamb does not think so. Well, you're an idiot. There was not one sign of evidence of any foul play, he said. We have several people tell us she was not getting along at home, and we have every time we get any kind of lead whatsoever, run down that lead. We have never come up with anything positive. Right, yeah. She got a Christmas tree and decorated a tree and was about to adopt a kid with her husband, and they don't get along at home. Give me a break. At this time, we don't have any idea where Carol is, but I do hope she is still alive and will contact her folks. I received some letters today which might provide a clue, and we are in the process of checking them out. The sheriff noted that at one time, as many as 500 men with helicopters and airplanes on foot, horseback, and vehicles were combing the 12-mile radius. Let's see. Yeah, so I think all the details gone. I mean, we've gone through all the details, but that's a pretty important article there. I gotta put the term details on that one. Huh? Who's Buff? I don't have it in rewind mode, do you? Because I haven't said the name Buff for like 25 minutes. Okay, so these are this is from December 27th right here. Rings are found several feet from the site where the body where body located. The death of, let's see, let me do this one. No, that's not the one. Yeah. The death of Miss Carol Blades could probably be solved if a man seen driving her car shortly before dusk, December 15, 1969, could be located. The body of the 20-year-old Nixa woman, wife of Larry Blades, was discovered quite by accident about 2 p.m. Friday by Ernest Wilhelm of Route 1 of Galena. Couldn't find Route 1 in Galena. For 375 days, the body had rested, touching a downed cedar log, protected from casual hunters only by virtue of the fact it was in a thicket of cedar trees. When Wilhelm found the body as he searched for his cows Christmas Day, he summoned Stone County Sheriff James Barnes. The sheriff and his deputies, as well as Christian County Sheriff Buff Lamb and his men, combed the area until dark Christmas, then returned Saturday to search throughout the day for further clues. The remains were identified by members of the family, and the upper teeth were checked out positive against dental records. The clothing matched that Mrs. Blades wore the day of her disappearance, a purple pantsuit, while white furry coat, and her shoes had weathered only slightly. Thanks, Miss Skiss. The case is reminiscent of the case of Miss Frankie Lillard, 52-year-old Neosho woman who disappeared February 17, 1965 from a liquor store where she worked, vanished in broad daylight from downtown Neosho. Not until March 15, 1966 was her skeletal remains discovered, as with Mrs. Blades, quite by accident and in the center of a thicket. Well, that's interesting. That death has haunted area law enforcement officers much as the disappearance of Miss Blades. There was absolutely no evidence of who abducted Miss Lillard, however, or how she got to the wooded area north of Neosho. Yeah, it's hard to read this one because it's kind of really tiny and crooked for me anyways. Let me see. The wedding rings of Miss Carol Blades, 20-year-old Nixa housewife, whose body was found west of Ponce de Leon Friday, were found yesterday afternoon as officers continued investigating Miss Blades' disappearance, December 15, 1969. Here, let me check this out. Meanwhile, 3 residents of the area west of went to Sheriff Lamb and told him they might know something that would assist in the investigation. Their story was the effect that they were in a car driving from a trailer court in the west side of US S-160. The driver had stopped at the stop sign prior to pulling onto the highway, and the Blades' car went by in front of them, heading north. The man driving the car stopped it a short distance further northward, got out of the vehicle on the right-hand side, and ran across the field in a generally southeasterly direction. The man had a coat fold. See, I think this is it right here. Now let me get to, I'll show you what they have. I'm just trying to find, there was one that had a picture of the laundromat. Okay, that's one of them. But I think, yeah, see, this is a picture of the laundromat. And you see how it looks, has that roof like that? So that's why I think it's this one. Because it's the only one, and they said it's still there, but now it looks like maybe there was some construction going on. But if you notice, it has the roof like that, and it looks like they just completely remodeled it. And it's also like, there's 160s right here. That's this road. And so I'm wondering if this was a field at one point, and that's where he's running. And if you remember what they said, that he was coming from the south, right? But the car was heading south with a man driving her vehicle. And I bet you anything that the car was parked right over here. Then he ran across this direction with the coat. So I'm going to change this location. I'm going to put that about right here. And then they ran across to here, and that's where his car was. Then he took off. But watch this. See, where she was found was down here. Generally in this area. I couldn't find Route 1, but that town was mentioned. Or Galena, right there. There's Galena, Route 1, but they said it was 5 miles from 160. So if I was going to go there, you know, so I guess it could be further out, like around closer to Galena. But I don't know at all. It was hard. I can't find Route 1 there. They have all these different numbers, but I don't see one. There is a Route 1 way up north in Missouri, but look at that. So if they dumped her body right here, right? Or he, look at that. Well, that's how you would get back. You would head up north just like this. And that's why they were seen coming from the south, parks the car there, gets into his own car, and then takes off. And that's why there's scratches and whatnot on the car, because she was found in the middle of some woods. Yeah, I think it makes total sense. So this is 1973. So it's, you know, a lot of these later ones have good updates in them. Alright. The cows didn't come home 3 years ago today, so Ernest Wilhelm, a Ponce de Leon farmer, went looking. In a cedar glade 5 miles west of US 160 highway in Stone County, he found his cattle and a person who had been missing. He found his cattle and a person who had been missing 375 days. When the body of Mrs. Carol Blades, 20, of Nixa, showed up on Christmas Day in 1970, part of a great Ozark mystery was cleared up. But the whole mystery has never been solved because the finding of the body failed to produce any clues into how the young housewife died. I'm sure she was strangled. But interestingly, it sounds like she was clothed. On the day of Carol Blades' disappearance, December 15th, 1969, she had been to Springfield to buy Christmas presents. She returned home and decorated a Christmas tree, and while her husband Larry slept, he worked a night shift at Springfield Industrial Plant, she reportedly took her laundry to Nixa. She was last seen at a store in Nixa where she bought cookies. Her clothing was found in the laundry at Nixa, and the car she drove was found abandoned beside US 160 on the west edge of Nixa. The investigation started immediately, headed by former Christian County Sheriff Buff Lamb. The area was combed and leads were checked out. Mrs. Blades' parents, Mr. and Mrs. Louise I. Horton of 2322 North Johnson, hired a private investigator. The keys to the Blades' automobile were found in a small field just east of where the car was parked. See, that makes sense? What I was saying? Like, this was a field at one point, and then it was Was it just that right here would be that field then, right? Didn't it say, did it say just west or east? I can't remember now. Ah, shit, where is that? The keys and the blades automobile were found in a small field east of where the car was found. Okay, so look at that. I mean, there's a field right there. And let's see what it looked back like in 1990. So it's even more of a field. I mean, just literally a field. So about 100 feet away, the keys were found. So what I'll do here is I'll rename this. You know, he just got out of the car and chucked the keys into the field, right? I mean, that's just so obvious. So that's where the car was found. And then the keys, right there, 100 feet. Let's see where that it would be. Yeah, pretty close. Yeah, almost, that's like 103 feet. Yeah, I don't think this is the husband or anything. I don't know what the motive was. The thing is he could have had her redress again and make it look like he was going to take her home, then he strangled her because he didn't want to have to deal with putting the clothes somewhere else. I mean, it is a little bit unusual, though. Usually you find a nude body. Maybe he was going to try something. Things went totally wrong. He killed her and, you know, dropped her off, her body out there. It's crazy. But I'm pretty sure this is it right here. Okay. The investigation started immediately. Let me get to the part. The keys to the Blade's automobile were found in a small field east where the car was parked, headed north on US 160. So that's exactly right. 3 persons were located who reported they were driving onto the highway when they saw the Blade's car coming from the south. See? Driven by a man. That the man stopped the car, jumped out, and ran diagonally across the small field toward the laundry. Okay. So the field that the keys were found in were right here. Now let me go back in time again, just even to 1990. And I wonder if maybe there was a small little field right through there. Let me see if I go up higher. Okay, 1990. There you go. Look at that. That's 1990 right there. That's just a field at that point. So, well, that's weird though, because now the laundromat's, is that not even there anymore? God, it has to be right there. Yeah, well, it's there in well, this is 69 though, right? I can't see the laundromat though. God, it has to be in this area. They said it was south of this highway on one. Man, it's so frustrating. God, it seems so clear that that's it. But now I don't see the laundromat right there. You see what I'm saying? The laundromat's gone. So, shit. Now I'm at a loss. This looked good. That building had the right shape and everything. Well, we'll have to go ahead and we'll have to go find the laundromat then. Because apparently in 2010 it was still sitting there. So they never gave the address of it though. Okay, let's see if they give us better instructions right here. Now, well, yeah, there's 1969. There is a picture. It's a little different roof at that point, but we got to look for the one with the triangle roof because that is or roof, as you guys pronounce it. They never gave the name of the laundromat anywhere. Let's see. As they drove along toward the laundry, Larry Blades said something caused them to look at the man, and they saw he was carrying a coat over his arm. They drove closer, and he looked up and saw them. He threw the coat up so it covered part of his face. They drove on and didn't think anything more, but all that ever came out of that strange episode was a police sketch of a white male with dark hair. The sketch now is included in a scrapbook Louise Horton has kept, including all information on his daughter's disappearance. In 1970, a petition was presented to Circuit Judge Garner L. Moody of the 38th Judicial. I think what I can do, though, wherever it is, I can just slide up the pins, because that's exactly how it's going to be. On 160, in a field, and then, but it says diagonal through a field, so we'll have to figure out where that is. The letter read, "What has happened to this quiet, peaceful community, Nixa, could have happened to any family within your judicial district." Let's see. A lot of new evidence has turned up, and that maybe through this information we'll be able to enlighten this thing a little. This will never be forgotten until it's solved. Well, okay, well, it's pretty much been forgotten. It's been 51 years. Yeah, let me go back to one of these here. What does it say? Near laundromat on US 160, but this says north of here. That's what's always been. It's a little weird, right? North of here. It's on 160. So let's see. Highway 160. See? Now this, it puts it right there, but there's an actual time. Like if you go, where the hell is it? I know that's not it right there. Unless this used to be Highway 60, but I think this is just, that's just the name of Highway 160 Auto Racing. So like it's just off of 160 right there. I don't see the 160 now, but I just saw it. Oh shit. Yeah, there we go. So now, see how now the 13, now 160 shows up on there? So it's the same one. It's not this little street right here, okay? So you keep going up that, and then you're, you know, it's 160. And hold on a second. Now I want to check that building out. Oh. So they said north of here. Well, I guess we'll have to go up here now. And I like how they made it 3D though, so at least you can. I don't know. How could that not be that one? It's even old, the old sign that was on it. God. But I don't see it on satellite, so. Yeah, let me show you what it looked like. See, this is what it looked like in a 2010 article. So it was still there. See? The building from which Carol Blades is believed to have been abducted in 1969 is still standing in Nixa. It was a laundromat at the time of the abduction, so maybe it's not anymore. Let's go back and look at one of this art. This is from 2010. So maybe let's take a look at this article. Maybe it breaks it down. There's another one from 2005 though. Actually, let's do the 2005 one. Well, there's a 1985 too. Years later. Family has theories. Whoever did this thing knew her, said Jackie John's older sister, Janice Walker, on Wednesday. John's family think an acquaintance, not a stranger, abducted the Nixa woman, who had been the subject of a search since her abandoned car was discovered Tuesday. Not sure why they're putting discovered Tuesday when it was actually, this is a 1985 article. Tuesday along U.S. Highway 160. Johns was pretty and friendly, said her father, Les Johns, but she also had common sense. Let me make sure that I have the right date here. Yeah, it's 1985. Jackie Johns would not stop her car along the busy highway for a stranger, said Walker. I've always thought there was more people in the car than her, Les Johnson said. He thinks there were at least 2 other people in the car besides his daughter. There was Jackie and one guy in the back seat and another guy driving, John speculated. Well, that's not what the witnesses said. On Wednesday, searchers combed a 5-mile... That's kind of a dumb speculation when witnesses had very credible information that talked about one guy running across and definitely was driving her car, and they were great witnesses. The frustration was evident on the face of her father, who sat with friends and relatives outside the family's home north of Nixa, John said. And his wife Shirley, Les Johns, dressed in overalls and a plaid shirt, was weary but eager to talk with reporters. He talked because more publicly might help him get his daughter back, he said. He appeared to be taking the situation in hand. But I'm hurting, he said. Don't think I'm not. He had slept maybe an hour since the ordeal began. He hadn't slept an hour. Nor did he expect to sleep Wednesday night, he said. He rests in his clothes in case he has to go out in the middle of the night. Huh. Well, why is it talking like this is like just written? You know what I mean? They said they found the car Tuesday. Now this is Wednesday. I'm just going to skip forward to the 2005. But man, you guys have made it a slow night in here. (2005) Springfield writers' book re-examines the 1969 murders. The death of a young wife and has baffled Ozarks for almost 36 years. The first in a series of unsolved murders of a woman in Christian County is being spotlighted in a new book. It's called A Body on the Farm. It's a result of 3 years of work by first-time author Barbara Kim Heighton. Well, she actually writes about something else. Carol Blades was a petite, shy 20-year-old housewife who on a cold afternoon in mid-December, hey, thanks, Zozo, 1969, disappeared from a self-serve laundry in Nixa. Her car was located hours later parked along US 160 outside of town. So outside of town, so it is north of there. But it took a year until Christmas Day of 1970 for her remains to be discovered in a cedar glade on a cattle farm a dozen miles away. Which is weird because that doesn't do, it's only 24 miles, but who knows where this person was driven. Hey, thanks, Julie W. The case jolted many Ozarks who until then had naively assumed that such violence didn't occur hereabouts. It also generated controversy because the sheriff of Christian County, L.E. Buff Lamb, seemed to handle the investigation clumsily, and even was reported to be a suspect himself because it was done so poorly. Is that what you're saying? Thanks, Lee Dobby. After spending several Sunday afternoons at the library poring over old newspaper, Kim Heighton summoned the courage to call the victim's mother, Geraldine Horton. Let's see. Yeah, I'm just gonna go forward to the 2010 article here. Let's see what they have. I mean, this is only 10 years ago now, so 40 years after. 41. "40 years ago, Christmas Day, the body of a young woman was found beside a fallen log in a grove of cedar trees on a northern stone country farm. Carol Blades, 20, of Nixa, had disappeared from a Nixa laundromat more than a year earlier on December 15, 1969, leaving only her clothes in a washing machine and her car pulled on the shoulder of US 160 with its engine blown. Her family and friends are still haunted by the unsolved crime. Carol Blades' husband, Larry Blades, still thinks of the case, especially around the anniversary. 1969, Larry Blades worked the 11 p.m. to 7 shift in the Springfield plant, now Carlisle Power Transmission, in Springfield. Late the afternoon of December 15, 1969, he was awakened by the telephone. I wondered why Carol didn't answer it, he said. It was a woman calling about a float in the Nixa Christmas parade. He asked her if she'd seen Carol. She hadn't. Larry called Carol's cousin, Sue Horton, whose home Carol went to sometimes while waiting for clothes to wash at the nearby laundromat. She said Carol hadn't been there all day. Well, that's sort of an interesting... Well, kind of. And volunteered to go look, Larry said. She called back and said Carol's clothes were still in the dryer and the car was parked on 160. You better come and see, she told him. About noon or 1 p.m. that day, Linda Rabe, one of Carol's best friends since high school, and another woman, had seen her Christmas shopping at Springfield Kmart. She said that after she got through shopping, she had to go to do some laundry, then go home and get Larry up and he could go to work. Later on the job at the Fasco plant in Ozark, Rabe's mother, who also worked there, gave her a message to call Larry. Carol's missing. Message to call Larry. Carol's missing. I said, no, she's not. I just saw her and repeated what Carol had said she was going to do. When I talked to Larry, you could tell in his voice that he had a lot of concern, Rabe said. She's supposed to be home at this time. She's not home. Let's see. Christian County Sheriff Buff Lamb. L.E. Buff, by the way. Lamb was controversial during his 4 terms as sheriff, with enemies who accused him of brutality, and supporters who said he was a no-nonsense sheriff who got the job done. Carol Blades' family said his attitude toward them was abrasive from the start. Carol's mother, Geraldine Horton, said Lamb insisted to her that her daughter had run off with another man. She never believed it. Yeah, the guy's an idiot. Remember that in that one article he said that? He said, we were probably fighting and she went to her parents in Oklahoma. After her body was found, Geraldine said that Buff kept saying that Larry killed her. Just give him enough rope and he'd hang himself. Larry Blades, however, took and passed 2 polygraph tests. As days and weeks passed, the family became increasingly frustrated, said Horton. Buff always made me cry every time I went in there. It never failed. I think he liked to see me cry. I tried not to, but he was pretty mean. The last time I was there with Lewis, her late husband, and Larry, let's see. Just may get another look. So that's the sketch, I guess, right there. I hadn't seen that. That's the sketch of the person that the 2 people saw. Thanks, Jessica Schubach. So that's the place. This is a photocopy of a police sketch of a man witnesses saw get out of Carol Blade's car and run across a field towards Nixa laundromat. Is that what it's actually called? Did it say that? Hold on. Oh, okay, yeah. It looks like Nixa would be capitalized no matter how you did it, so I don't know. Toward a Nixa laundromat, so no, that's not the name. From which she is believed to have disappeared. Threw us out of his office. Larry Blades remembers the day Lamb told him Carol's body had been found. We were eating Christmas dinner with the folks when the phone rang. His sister answered and gave the phone to Larry. Well, Larry, this is Buff. I think we've found your wife's remains. Jesus. Blades said the sheriff told him, you'd better come on over to Adam's funeral home. That was the way that he notified me. You'd have thought he could have told my sister and then let her tell me. Law enforcement records state that on the day Carol disappeared, 3 people saw her car headed north on 160 and pulling into the shoulder. A man got out of the car and ran across the field where Carol's car keys were later found towards the laundromat. So maybe there's like 160, a field, and then the laundromat. 2 witnesses got a good look at him. A police sketch was compiled from the description. Former Sheriff Deputy Raymond Gold 82 said his brother, former Nixa Mayor Finis Gold, drove past about the time the man got out of the car and told Gold about it later. He didn't recognize him, though, said Gold, who said he saw the sketch of the sheriff's office before and other evidence disappeared from the courthouse. We checked a bunch of people. Gold recalls the crime and the day the body was found with sadness in his voice. I knew her and her husband, Larry, which, I don't know, there's a note right here she wrote, but, just 1967 in a yearbook. So let's see if we can find this damn place. See, it looks like there's a street right there, though. So if that's 160, and that's Nixa. I don't know, maybe we could just get on the road right here and go down and see what we see. But this is apparently 160 even back then. Oh, I can just skip some of this. And they were about to turn to get on to... So maybe it was like right in this area. God, I swear though, don't you think it's weird that the other building that I found is actually a laundromat now? And it's right, and it made sense. on an early article. Let me see if I can find that. I'm just trying to find that. There was a part of the article that described where it was in better detail. But we've gone over all these, so I don't know. Yeah, north on US 60 north of here, and this is written in Nixa, so when you're saying north of here, that means you're basically saying it's a little bit north of town, right on the edge. I just want to get the actions down. Huh? I don't see an address. Who put one up there? Let me see it. Oh yeah, let's see. It wasn't called Nixa Laundry though. It was a Nixa laundromat. Like a laundromat in the town. Yeah, well that's the one I had. It's right there. Yeah, that's the one laundromat in I've already got that one, but thank you. That's the one laundromat in the town, and even looks similar. But amazingly though, if you go back in time, it wasn't there in 1990. Look. So that can't be it, because it's still there today. All right. Oh, thanks for finding one. But that's the only laundromat in the entire town. That's how I was finding it. But they're saying north of here. So if this is Nixa, this is 160 north of here. Hell, let's check this area out. Not sure if this is still counted as that, but yeah, but it would have been on the, well, maybe it was on the right hand side. Yeah, it doesn't have that shape of roof, but originally it didn't look like that. Yeah, I think this has the original pictures in it. See, look at how it looked back then. See, it didn't have the shaped roof. See, it didn't have the barn type roof on it. And this is actually the guy that found her body, and it was right next to this little fallen branch right there. And I guess that is where they lived. West of Nixa, where Larry and Carol Blades lived at the time. And they didn't give the address, unfortunately. Seen running across the nearby field. See, the case is reminiscent of... Okay, that's a different one. Yeah. Yeah, so that's what it looked like back then, but it doesn't look like that now, because in this later article, they obviously... I don't know if that's a facade making it look like the roof does that, and that's just a facade making it look like it's got a point at the top. Because if you open up both of them, yeah, that looks totally different at that point. Okay, it's got a door in the middle, 2 windows. Doors in the middle, too. So, I mean, I guess in general, it's sort of the same. Yeah, we don't know if they rebuilt the roof or not, because I can't see the top of it. It could just be a facade, like one of those, like in the old days, when you go to the cowboy towns where they just put a little facade and it made it look like that. Because we can't see, if it was, if the picture was taken just a few feet over to the left, you'd be able to tell. Now, I wouldn't go with the older one, because this one here is what it looked like in 2010. Why would you go by the old one? That doesn't make any sense. This is an actual picture in a 2010 newspaper saying that's where it's still standing today, it said. So they're saying north of here. God, this one was just so perfect, though. I mean, look at it. It's under construction, you know, you're looking at it, and you're saying, okay, it's a laundromat, and it has that shaped roof to it. And there was a description that said it was south of, I think, let's see, what's the name of this? Yeah, it keeps going. It was a highway. I can't remember what the number was, but I followed it all the way around, and it went in right here, and it said south of that on 160. So that's all I can tell you. I mean, let's see what this one is. No. I don't know if anybody lives there. So it keeps saying north of here, so... I don't think it's a laundromat anymore. They just said it was at the time. But, I mean, how could it be way up here? It's just... I don't know. Well, I guess they live sort of... They live west of there. But we're not going to be able to know where that is either, because they didn't give the address, and it's too long ago for any of the easy address locators. Anyways, I don't want to keep looking for it at this point. To me, this one made all the sense in the world, but it's not there. You know, it's actually not there in 1990. Got it fit exactly what they said, though. But all the other, who knows where it is. Maybe it was up here, whatever. But I think it's interesting where the car would have come back from the south. Used her car, came back. You must have just absolutely put the car through hell, and it broke down. Yes, that is Lee Dobby. In fact, we've had a few of those lately where they don't give the addresses out. They just say, hey, off of this street, off of that street. But I don't know, man. The case is still cold after 51 years. Or it hasn't been solved. Yeah, I don't know. The other one's kind of long. I might save that one for a different night. Maybe call it a shorter night than normal. Get some more rest. I mean, look at all the files that are in this other one. Look at this. Like literally 38 PDF files. That one got solved, but it was cold up until not too long ago. So it's an interesting one. Yeah, it's just, I put a lot of time in, so I gotta make it worth it. So maybe tomorrow I'll be able to cover that longer one. And yeah, I'm actually still recovering. It doesn't sting anymore, the scar on my neck. Well, thanks, Kara. Hey, thanks, Allie Cake. It doesn't sting anymore, but there's still this little part. What sucks is the upper part where it was glued together was really healed perfectly. But then the glue came undone on the bottom, so it's been taking almost a month to heal that stupid scar, I don't know where the laundromat is. I know this is 160 right here. That's all I can tell you. And see, there it is, right there. See that? Oh, see that? It just turned. It's Highway 13 and 160 right here. Route 13. So let's see if I type in Route 1. And then what was the name of that little town? Right here, west. Route 1, Galena. Yeah, see, I can't find that. And see, all those things can be changed over time. No, it was Galena. I'm looking for where the body was. I know the name of the town. The Nixa. Good night, Richard Watts. Yeah, I mean, there's a whole nother case in the same damn town. That's what's crazy about it. I mean, this is a tiny little... There's a few of them, actually. I've got a PDF file that I've looked through that has a... It's from newspapers.com, but it listed about 30 people in Missouri, so I was going to go through some of those over time. A lot of murders going on over there. Oh, good. Take a shot of something, too, Danielle. Who, Richard Watts was telling that? I don't know. I don't get it. No, I don't think it's weird that they found the keys 100 feet away. We already found that, Chris. That's where I have the pin already. It's the only laundromat in town. The building apparently isn't a laundromat anymore. Well, I found it before the show, so I mean, that's where I based everything on. I didn't go back to the 90s though. It seemed like it made sense, but then all of a sudden the laundromat's not there in 1990, so that means that's not the right spot. It's weird though, because it's so close to what they were saying. Yeah. Well, I think today that case would have been solved. I'm sure he left DNA in the vehicle. Her body, had it been found earlier, might have helped. But they didn't find even how she died, just because she was a skeleton at that point. Let me just do one more attempt here. So they're saying north of here. That's Springfield. Let me... Shit. Her name is Jackie Johns. Alright. No, that's a different one. That's the 1985 one. Carol Blades. But she's also in the same town. Yes, that's a book that somebody wrote. I wonder if it says all that in there. Get the Kindle version. Hopefully there's pictures. God. Maybe I'll have to do that. I hate not having answers. Okay. Pulled onto the shoulder of US 160 with its engine blown. Blade's husband Larry still thinks about that. Yeah. 3 people reported. Yeah. I'm waiting nearby laundromat. Across a field toward a laundromat. So there must have been 160, a field, and then a laundromat. See, that's what it's coming out as. I'm just going to see if I can find a reference from a Nixa laundromat more than a year earlier. How come there's so little information? Like, why didn't they give a specific, you know, the 200 block of, or that's something weird about these articles. They're so unspecific. Hold on to the shoulder. A man got out and ran across the field towards the laundromat. See, if here's the thing. I mean, here it could be either direction the way they're saying it. So this is 160 right here, and it could have been that he was heading north, parked, ran across a field towards the laundromat, or now let's see what that is. No. Or it could be on this side, but it seems like they would have said he ran across the other lane of the freeway, but I'm not sure in 69 if this is probably, you know, they didn't have 2-lane freeways too often in small towns like this. So it could be that the car, well, they said the keys were, though, found. Let me do this again. Yeah, so the keys were found east of the car, and then but then later another article said he ran across a field to get to the laundromat, and the keys were in that field. I know, Laura, I know it is. For people as stupid as you, it's really boring. Okay? Right. See, we try to actually figure shit out, Laura. You're the type of person who, you know, doesn't really have a brain, so you sort of go, oh, God, I need instant stimuli. I need instant stimuli. I need instant stimuli. That's why you do the Morphew case. It's right up your alley. Yeah. Yeah, so 100 feet, and then... Gosh, you kind of wonder if it was even over on this street or something, you know? Let's see. I'm just going to try this one last time here. I don't know what that is. No. Yeah, everything just looks so new, you know. But maybe Laura was onto something. I can always tell by the, forget it. I feel like people that come here and say that stuff are looking for, they're looking for negative reaction. That's okay. I like to give it to them too. It makes me feel good. So I'm actually thinking it's on this side now. And it's going to be facing the road. North of here, they said. But where's here, right? Yeah, you don't have to time idiots like that out, though. Just leave them around, and then eventually we just block them. But give them time to, you know. Boring. You're not talking about Morphew. Oh, God. Let's talk about Morphew every second of every day. Ridiculous. Yeah, I think I'm almost in Springfield now. Okay, one last time going this way then. I guess if it was one lane, they wouldn't have said he ran across the traffic again. Golly gee willikers. Man, you sound like Leave it to Beaver. Yeah, I think she was abducted at the laundromat. You know, it could have been, hey, you want to go out check something out? Like, maybe the person did know her. I don't know. No, it's like a shed or something. Oh, yes, Gray. They tore it down 2 years ago. It doesn't exist. Oh, thanks. See, I don't know. Yeah, I don't even see. This is the only building that I thought looked plausible, and it's actually a laundromat today. Don't you find that weird? The only problem is that apparently in 1990, when you pan out, it's just not even there at all. Although everything else made sense. A field. And look at how absolutely there's almost nothing around back then. I mean, absolutely, totally different. Yeah. Well, we don't know because it was there in 2010. Definitely could have been torn down, but the building, well, maybe, I guess. I guess it could be that same spot. And let me see if there's even an older satellite image that we could peer into. See, that's 1984. Look how blurry that is. That's 1985. $1990. Yeah, I could still only really make out that one. Nah, but they mentioned in the article that it was still there today. So I think it's the same building. Well, if anybody can find it, let me know. No, it was built in 1969. It was there in 1969. Okay? And it was still there in 2010. That's it. Yeah, maybe I can do this shorter one. There was one that had 3 in it. Maybe I don't have a picture of her, but this is another one in Missouri. Doesn't really it had very little information on it. But it says a body found stuffed in the pit of an outdoor privy near here Thursday night has been identified as that of a 16-year-old Joplin girl missing since December 9th. Loudoun County Sheriff Forrest Land said Carolyn Sue Neely, a Memorial High School sophomore, was identified by relatives and through dental records. Miss Neely was taken to school December 9th by her mother, Mrs. Mary Neely, and had not been seen by relatives since. A missing persons bulletin was dispatched among area authorities the next day. Authorities said the girl, who probably was killed by a blow to the head, appeared to have been dead for 2 to 3 months, according to Newton County Coroner Henry Frund. An autopsy was performed on the body yesterday to determine the exact cause of death, but the results will not be known for some time. Sheriff Land said it could not be determined if the girl had been sexually molested. The girl's nude body was found Thursday night in an outbuilding pit at an abandoned Boy Scout camp near Joplin. The body was discovered by 2 hunters who were working their dogs in the area about 4 miles southwest of here. Probably Friend, actually. Friend said a wedding ring was found on the ring finger of the girl's left hand. Well, how old was she? 16? Really? The wedding ring was found on the ring finger of the girl's left hand, and Sheriff Land reported this morning that the ring was identified as belonging to the girl's mother. Well, that's kind of strange. The young student was not married. Huh. Sheriff Land said there were no suspects. That's kind of an odd thing, right? You kind of wonder, like, I mean, I'm just throwing this out there, a stepdad or something, like some weirdo, like, hey, or, I mean, why would she wear a wedding ring? What does that have to, you know? It's some weirdo, you know, making her wear that ring. Yeah, I just don't have time for people like that. There were no suspects in the case. Then 1 day later, again, the nude body of a Joplin teenager has been removed from the pit of an outdoor privy in an abandoned scout camp. You know, it's weird because it's an abandoned scout camp. You sort of wonder if it was somebody who had gone there at some point. 16-year-old Carolyn Sue Neely, a sophomore at Memorial High School, was last seen by relatives the morning of December 9th when she was taken to school by her mother. Thursday evening, 2 hunters working their dogs in the area about 4 miles southwest of here came upon the girl's body stuffed in the pit of an abandoned camp. Preliminary investigations revealed the girl probably died from a blow to the head. Sounds about the same as the other one. And then the only other article I could find is the next 2 days later. Joplin police are working with the Newton County Sheriff's Office in the investigation of a Joplin girl's slaying. The body of Carolyn Sue Neely, 16, was found early Friday by 2 hunters again. Henry Friend, county coroner, said the girl apparently died of a blow to the head. Same thing. Results of an autopsy were expected to take 2 to 3 weeks. 2 men from Newton County Sheriff's Office and 2 detectives from Joplin Department are conducting the investigation. And she was considered a runaway at the time she went missing. She's still considered a runaway unless the investigation turns something else up. Well, you sound like an idiot, okay? How could you still consider that a runaway? Oh, she ran away, but then she was killed, so who gives a shit at that point? Who cares if she did run away? Obviously, she was murdered. So I don't give a shit that you want to justify that you once called her a runaway. Well, we're still calling her one. You get what I'm saying? It's almost like because they said she was a runaway, they're defending that still. Thank you, Sarita. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the whole thing about hide and seek means. Yeah, just don't have time. You know? I don't have time for that. Well, you know what we could do? Instead of... I'm going to go over that other case because it's so long tomorrow. But this other article, there's other ones in the area. Maybe we could try this one. We'll do almost like newspapers.com that I know KitKat likes so much about. All right, here we go. Let's see if this one exists in here. Sandra, Melissa, Alberta, Missouri, 1986. And sometimes they don't show up, so let me just type that in. Sandra, Alberta. Nope, that one's not in there. Okay, Bambi, Loanne Brantley. She's somebody that hasn't been found. Let me just see if she shows up in there. Same year. Bambi. Well, let me try that last one last time. Jackie, excuse me, Sandra, Melissa, Alberta. And I'll get rid of this. Ah, shit. Sandra, Melissa, Alberta. Nothing. Okay, let's try this one. Deborah Sue Lewis. '87. Oh, there we go. This one has some. She went missing April 1987. So let's see. There we go. This is April 30th. So here we go. Deborah Sue Lewis. Greene County authorities are looking for a Walnut Grove woman whose car was found abandoned Tuesday along U.S. Highway 160. Oh, wow. North of Springfield. Deborah Sue Lewis, 31, of Route 2, Walnut Grove, was reported missing Tuesday after her car was found on the road. That sounds awfully familiar. The car, a gold 1974 Volkswagen convertible with a black top, was found near Farm Road 115 north of Springfield. Yeah, maybe I should just build this one out. Why not, huh? You guys can just hang out. I'll just do it. Alright? Why the hell not? What am I going to do? Go watch television? Oh, that does sound pretty good. I've been watching the Netflix show Away with Swank, I think is her name. That's pretty damn good. It's a very good show. It's kind of a realistic, seemingly, I don't know, just comes across as pretty good. Yeah, I've watched like 9 episodes. Deborah Sue Lewis, 1987. So I'll just be another Missouri. Let me put Missouri on the end there. Hey, you wouldn't want to have lived in this area, apparently, over a certain amount of time. There's literally, I mean, the list is ridiculous that they have here. Hold on. Okay, now I've got the folders all built out. Might as well, huh? Thanks, Julie W. Alright, so here's the original one. So, it was found near Farm Road, north of Springfield. So let's go there. Farm Road. And it looks like... Well, let's just... How's it? Farm Road 190? Let's just go to Farm Road. Okay, that makes more sense. So there's Farm Road. It has other stuff on it though, North Farm Road, but that kind of makes sense. Along US 160. So where does 160 come out on this side? Is that this one? Let's do US 160 Springfield, Missouri. Okay, it's right here. And then I'm assuming it takes that left right there. Yeah, 160 still. Alright, so I'm going to put 160 just so we know that that's the road right here. And then we can find Farm Road and kind of yeah, I don't know. That's 160 right there. Pretty sure it kind of keep going up this way. Well, look at that. There's West Farm Road. Yeah, well, she lives on Route 2 Walnut Grove. But again, that's probably not going to let's see if that shows up. Route 2 Walnut Grove. See, none of that shit works. Now let's see, that did go somewhere. West Farm Road 2. That's Walnut Grove, so maybe that's what they're talking about. That's where she lived, apparently, somewhere around in this area. West Farm 2. You know, I don't know if that's it, but that's where Google Earth came up with. So it's probably somewhere in this area, since it is Walnut Grove. I don't like their maps over here. So there's 160. And then it says the car, a gold 1974 Volkswagen convertible with black top, was found near the Farm Road. Oh, let's see. Farm Road 115. It actually does have the number. So Farm Road 115. Okay. Now this is better. And that's 160. Does it kind of wind its way this way? Let's see. Yep, 160. And there's Farm Road 115 and 160. So what does it say? Was found near Farm Road 150 north of the Springfield Regional Airport. Abandoned Tuesday along U.S. Highway 160 north of Springfield. Then later it says, the car, a gold 1974 Volkswagen convertible with a black top, was found near Farm Road 115 north of the Springfield Regional Airport. But then above it said, the car was found abandoned Tuesday along U.S. Highway. I mean, which one is it then, guys? You know? Springfield Airport. No. Springfield Regional. Okay, now that's Springfield Branson National Airport. And that's 160. Is there another route? Farm Road 104. No. But it said on 160. Man, don't you hate when they just have it completely whacked out? Look at the way this is written right here. Authorities are looking for a Walnut Grove woman whose car was found abandoned Tuesday along U.S. Highway 160 north of Springfield. Then right over here it says, the car, a gold 1974 Volkswagen convertible with a black top, was found near Farm Road 115 north of the Springfield Regional Airport. Okay, well, is this the... It looks like it was changed. Let me just get the address of Springfield Regional Airport, Missouri. So now it's called Springfield Branson National Airport. It's not called Springfield Regional Airport anymore. So this is the airport. Apparently it was north of here. Oh, look at that. There's North Farm Road right here. And then, there we go. Maybe it keeps going. Does it cross over? So now I think we're getting close. Oh, shit. So near Farm Road 115. Okay. So maybe they're talking about, like, it's in this area. I would say, like, right in, you know, here to here. And it could actually be that they continued on, because notice how it crosses and then goes up here. They might also call that that. So, you know, right in this area is where her car was found. Okay, cool. I think we got it. All right. So there's the airport, 160. That's Farm Road 115. I guarantee it, they probably considered going across it, driving, even though it has a different name now. Maybe back then it was different. And then it comes out right at 160. And so that makes sense. Okay, now we know where the car was found. Do you guys think that that's going to be pretty good? Pretty accurate? I think so. Okay, deputies said the car's lights were on and Lewis's purse and car keys were inside. Man, that sounds like a lot of these other ones we've done. Authorities said Lewis was last seen Monday night when she left work at the Ozark Mountain Stadium. So that's probably it. Again, everything changes. Ozark Mountain Stadium. Former Mountain Duck Stadium in Ozark. So I think that's going to be it. Yeah, that's the same building. All right. So that's it. So she worked here, probably, you know, concessions, whatever. So that's where she worked, and then her car was found right up, way up there. Lewis was last seen Monday night when she left work at Ozark Mountain Stadium to go home. Sheriff John Pierpont said anyone with information about Lewis's whereabouts should contact the sheriff's department. Lewis is described as white, 5'3", 100 pounds, with hazel eyes and brown hair. All right, so that was the... I think we found an article that was in April, right? Was that April 30th? Hold on. Yeah, I think there was one. Let me just do this. Okay, there it is. Yeah, that's pretty small. Yeah, and every time you put dates on a document, put the year first, then month, and then day. That way you can sort it. If you don't do it that way, you can't sort it. So it's April 30th. Looks like, based on what I just glimpsed at, like she was found not too far or long later. So May 1987. May 6th. So like they're still looking for her. That's her right there. Investigators with the Greene County Sheriff's Department are looking for help solving the week-long disappearance of a Walnut Grove woman. Deborah Sue Lewis, 31, of Route 2, Walnut Grove, was last seen the night of April 27th. We're getting worried about her, said Kim Kitchell, chief detective. Somewhere there is somebody who has seen something. Hey, it sounds like my nobody owes nobody anything. However, Kitchell said officials have no evidence to support their suspicions of foul play. The concern, nevertheless, is echoed by Lewis's parents, Elmer and Marie Lewis of Springfield. We're worried just like anyone would be, Elmer Lewis said. We're sad, but we're hanging in there, and we've been keeping busy looking for her. The Lewises have done several things to try to find their daughter, including having the Civil Air Patrol fly search patterns over the area. Lots of people have been calling and asking how they can help, Lewis said. One of Deborah's friends is having flyers put together that we're going to distribute. Okay, so that was on May 6th, about a week after that. Let's see, there was one on May 1st. Any new information? When she left the Ozark Mountain Stadium, she was driving a gold 1974 Volkswagen convertible. She was well known in the area. We're hoping that someone will call in and say they found her. Again, 5'3", 100 pounds. And then it looks like, and then May 11th, searches failed to find woman. 6 people riding horses were unsuccessful Sunday in finding traces of a rural Walnut Grove woman who disappeared April 27th. The riders searched for 5 hours along both sides of Missouri 123 from Willard to Interstate 44. A friend of Lewis contacted Jones about searching for her. Jones contacted Lewis's father, Elmer Lewis of Springfield, before the search began. Lewis's car was found abandoned at 11:50 p.m. April 27th on U.S. Highway 160 at Farm Road 115. So that's exactly what we just determined. They didn't word it that way before. They didn't say at. North of the Springfield Regional Airport where the search was conducted. A passerby discovered the abandoned car, a 1974 gold Volkswagen convertible with its lights on and its door open. Okay, that was May 7th. And then May 16th, Family, friends of missing woman, open reward fund. Family and friends of Deborah Sue Lewis. They open a reward fund, trying to get some help. Get a clue. Now we go back to May again. May 1st, 6th, 11th. Okay. So now we'll just do June 1987 to December 1987. Okay, so this is December 18th. Anything else? Okay, so I think this is, maybe she's found around in this time. I don't know. Resident Springfield was found dead. There we go. So she was found on December 10th in Newton County. A licensed practical nurse. She was a former employee of St. John's Regional Health Center, the U.S. Medical Center, and the Upjohn's nurses. Well, I'm not. Oh, maybe she was actually working as a nurse. She was 32 years old. So wait. I thought she was younger than that. Hold on, let me... No, yeah, that's right. 31 it said in this other article. So she was a nurse, so maybe she was at the ball game just in case somebody got injured. Kind of a higher professional level. I thought maybe she was a kid. So she's 32. Let me do a different type of a search now. Since she was found on the 10th, what usually happens is the next day is an article. And let's see, December 11th, 1987. And then that won't say her name, but then change that to body found. And then, let's see. So here's a body that was found December 11th, or the date, let's see. Newton County authorities said they have no leads on the identity of skeletal remains found Thursday, and this is Friday, so this body was found on the 10th, so it's very likely that this is her. A dispatcher for the Newton County Sheriff's Department said a couple was walking in the woods at about 11:30 a.m. Thursday when they saw the skeleton. See, this is what's hard sometimes, is to find that moment where, like, they don't know who it is, right? So, but it's interesting because they give more information at that point. About all we know now is that it's a female and that it was found this morning. The dispatcher said, "We don't really have a clue as to who it is or how long the person has been dead. The body was found." Now we can put a pin where the body was based on this article. If they had already knew who she was, it would be less likely that they would have given out the precise location. The body was found about 1.5 miles east of U.S. Highway 71 along what is known as the WPA Road. Okay, well, let's see where that is. And where it was found in Newton County. Yeah, I think they might have been found in a different state. Hold on. Newton County. Is there a Newton County, Missouri? Oh, I spelled that wrong. Hold on. No. Oh, so there is. So way over here. Well, let's see how big it is. Yeah. So it's inside that square right in here. So what I'll do is I'll just start off over here somewhere. Okay. Now this one's getting pretty crazy all of a sudden. Newton County Sheriff Department said a couple was walking in the woods at 11:30 Thursday in the wooded area about 5 miles south of Joplin. So let's do that. There's Joplin. Okay, and then let's just do a 5 miles from right on that red point. Okay, there's 5 miles. So I'll just move this like up in here somewhere. And then go back again. So this is what I do all the time. You know, it's fun because you're sort of putting a puzzle together. And I hope you guys find it interesting as well. But the body was found about 1.5 miles east of US 71. So now I'm going to say, you know, US 71 Joplin. Okay, so now there's US 71. Now look at this. Goes straight down here. So it looks like we might even be in the right spot, almost. Highway 71. Body was found about 1.5 miles east, so that's the other direction, east of US Highway 71, along what is known as WPA Road. So that means it's the other side, this direction. And then, let me move that again. I don't know what, I can't guess what a mile is, but. Hey, look at that, I can't get it. No, there it is. So that's close. It's about like that. Yeah, shit. The WPA, let's see, south of Interstate 40 was built by WPA in the Missouri. Sounds like WPA stands for like an agency. Wait, WPA Route 66. Alright, well, let's see if that's in there. Well, that must be this one then. Yeah, see now it seems like it's the other. Wait, let's see if it goes this way. And that's Highway 71. So maybe it's more down in this area. But that's a mile. I'm trying to figure this out. It's like 5 miles down. But apparently this is the Route 66 used to be WPA. Hey, thanks, Walligator. Yeah. So Route 66. You can see it right there, RTE 66. So it must be the same thing. Yeah, it still says Route 66 on there. And I'm sure it's still doing that. It doesn't look like it's veered off anywhere. So I'm assuming it goes over here. Still that 49 still there. But I don't see Route 66 anymore. But it comes down. And then it starts turning, going east. And then it kind of goes down like this, and then across 71. Now we can be on the eastern side of it. So, you know, like maybe over here. Anyways, I'll just put a pin like maybe over here at this point. I'll even just put the word maybe here. And then I'll get back to what they were saying. The body was found about 1.5 miles east of U.S. Highway 71 along what is known as WPA Road, officials said. And this one says in a wooded area about 5 miles south of Joplin. See, that's the thing, is this one is 5 miles. That pin was 5 miles south of Joplin. So, I don't know. This is pretty wooded right there, but it's east of Highway 71. But I don't see the, well, there's 49 right there, too. That's kind of weird. Oh, this is 40. That's 66. Yeah. Huh. Well, I'm just going to leave it at that for now. I'm close. I'm in the area. Let's put it that way. Regardless, it's in the area. Oh yeah, let's see. Man, you're still focused in on that? We've changed stories already. Huh? Yeah. That doesn't, we don't have that one. The name that you just said doesn't show up anywhere. Was that in an article somewhere? How do you know where she lived? Like, what article are you looking at, Kubi? What are you talking about? Yeah, well, if it was that close to the home, don't you think the husband would have just driven there? Oh, you went and bought the book? Shit. Okay, well, it's not called that anymore, okay? That's what I'm saying. And I don't think it's too much. I don't know where the house is, but... So you went and bought the book for 19 bucks just to get the address? Jesus. Next time, send it to me and I'll buy the book. Well, I just want to move on, though. I don't want to keep jumping back. I'm on a different case right now. If you get the information, just send it to me. Yeah, just email it to me. I don't want to keep jumping around. I was on to another case at this point. Let's see. They'll check for breaks or nicks that might have been caused by being struck. Let's see. What are we on here? Is this the right one? Yeah. The body was found 1.5 miles east of U.S. Highway 71 along what is known as WP Road, officials said. Newton County Coroner Harry Friend said his preliminary investigation. That's the same guy, isn't it? Friend from the... provided no clues as the cause of death. The skeleton was sent to the Missouri Southern State College Crime Lab for further examination. They'll check for breaks or nicks that might have been caused by being struck, friend said. The body probably had been in the woods since early spring, he said. For one thing, the skeleton had a jacket around it, he said. That would indicate it had been there since before it got warm in the spring. It obviously has been there more than just a month or two. Well, right, but what makes you think she was struck by a car? She's nowhere near where her car is, and it's like many, many miles away. So that's December 11th. Let's see if there's any better description here. Killing of a young Missourian may be the work of a cult? What? A young man killed by 40 to 50 blows. Oh, this is a different story. This is the one about... Well, let's see what this one says. 3 schoolmates of the victim, Stephen Newberry, 19, of Carl Junction, have been charged with murder. Newberry's body was found Tuesday submerged in cistern in a rural area of Jasper County. So I still have the body found. That's why I did that. Huh. Alright, let me get back to her name. So she was found on the 11th. Now we've got right here. Debbie Lewis, 32, a lifelong resident of Springfield, was found dead December 10th. A licensed practical nurse. She was a former employee of St. John's Regional Health Center, the U.S. Medical Center, the Upjohn's Nurses Association, and she also a former employee of Dr. Harold Bauer, and at the time of her disappearance was employed by Dr. E.R. Borio. She was a member of the University of Heights Baptist Church and a graduate of Parkview High School. Alright, so that's on the 18th. Let's see, 19th. It's about the services. Alright, let's check out 1988. January 3rd. Deborah Sue Lewis. Few clues, authorities suspect foul play. That's it. Isn't that sad? That's it, man. Like right then. Let's see if 1989 brings in anything. Nothing. Let me just try this. No. I thought I just saw her name though, 1991. There we go. Clues may point to serial killings in Ozark. I love these pictures like this that look like that. You almost could just frame those and put them on your wall. There was one I sent to Cairo a while back that was pretty cool. I like the black and white. Deborah Sue Lewis. Okay, everything was as it should have been on April 27, 1987. Deborah Sue Lewis thought so. At least she acted that way as she ripped through the Monday, a 5-foot-tall, 100-pound dynamo with a gap-toothed grin and energy to spare. She got it from her parents, That zest for life, especially from the father, Elmer Lewis, is constantly moving, smiling, touching, talking, laughing, and whirling dervish in tennis shoes. Want to fly a plane, go camping, drive cross country. Elmer would do it at the drop of a hat. Debbie was that way too, a licensed practical nurse at the professional building on Cherry Street. She moonlighted as a waitress at Ozark Mountain Stadium. There you go. Man, it seems weird that a practical nurse would have to moonlight. I don't even know what I said, Jen H. Part-time job to help pay for Volkswagen convertible. There you go. A home in Walnut Grove she'd moved into a few weeks before. April 27th was just another Monday for Debbie Lewis. 8 hours at the doctor's office, a half hour under the lights at a tanning salon, a workout at a fitness center, work at Ozark Mountain Stadium. She'd be home before, I mean, you just can imagine she was just having a great time, feeling great about herself. Lewis left her second job at 11:06 p.m. It was the night of the new moon. Darkness surrounded her yellow convertible Volkswagen as she headed for the parking lot. She was wearing brilliant Hawaiian shorts, a pink tank top, a red shirt, and a bandana. You know, I remember all this, the same exact time frame when I was in college. I could remember doing all, like that shit. When I used to play basketball, I was totally that, the white man can't jump guy. I had like Hawaiian shorts on and then a backwards bicycle helmet. Not a helmet. A bicycle hat. You know, those ones that have the bicycle helmet. You know those bicycle hats that have the flat front? I'd have that on and just some crazy shirt. And I could do it because I could shoot, and pass. I had the crazy passing and I could make bombs. So I could pull it off. If I sucked, you can't do that and suck, okay? All right, Lewis left her second job at 11:06 p.m. Let's see. Her car was found a half hour later on US 160, just north of Springfield Regional Airport. The driver door was open. The keys were in the ignition. Lewis's purse was on the passenger seat. I wonder if there's anything wrong with the car. The Greene County Sheriff's Department first downplayed foul play. Elmer Lewis, a former reserve deputy sheriff, nearly screamed. I understand an 18-year-old girl living at home might run off, he told the investigators, but this is a 31-year-old woman living on her own, and she just got that house. That's what I said. What makes you think she ran off? He knew why the cops thought the way they did. Car had been found along. I mean, I think it's idiotic that anybody would think that. Who takes off and leaves their car on a highway? I don't even know what you're talking about, Rebecca. Are you drinking? Jesus. He knew why the cops thought the way they did. Lewis's car was found along a major highway. I don't know what that has to do with anything, though. Not the place one normally thinks a killer would strike. No, that's exactly where killers strike all the freaking time. Wow, okay. There was no blood, no sign of a struggle. Yeah. I don't know what happened, if her car had broken down. Or maybe there was somebody in her car, made her get out. I don't know. I don't know how it worked. Did somebody flash their lights at her, get her to pull over? But the lack of suspicion didn't mean Elmer Lewis was going to wait for police to uncover news about his daughter. A half dozen friends rode horses into the countryside after Debbie Lewis vanished. So I guess this is two different stories here. Let me go to page 15 first. All right, let's see where they have. Look at all these people now. See, this is what I'm talking about, everybody. You see how we start covering something, and then boom, now you're onto a serial killer, perhaps. It's crazy. So let's see where they have her. Well, I mean, that's just so general. That's not a very good map. Missouri. So they have all these different people right around here. Car found US 160 just north of Springfield. Keys and purse inside. Body found partially clothed in Newton County on December 10th. 1 mile east of US 71 and 5 miles south of Joplin. Cause of death unknown. Possibly strangled. Yeah, so it's 1 mile east of 71. Well, let's see, where's Highway 71? That's 71. Yeah, that's right. It's the same one that says 49 on it. See, 71. So 1 mile east, 5 miles south of Joplin. But I'm not sure why they're saying Joplin. Why not say of this town here, you know, something like that. Because if I was going to do 5 miles south, I'd start there. You know, I guess that's 5 miles. It could be higher up. Let's see what any of these names. Yeah, I'm gonna move it up in there somewhere. Aspen Road, Birch Drive, Newton County. I wonder if it's this road right here. Old Highway 71. Oh, man. So what does that mean then? See, there's an old Highway 71 right there. Oh, boy. Now, when did old Highway 71 become Highway 71? Yeah, that's always good. That's always fun. Right there. Yeah. Well, there's an old Highway 71, which might match up better with the south of... Yeah. Yeah, it's fun times there, Gen H, when you don't have any clue on how to... Alright, so let's go. Let me continue on with that one article, though. It's right there. See, during the day, I would look it up and say, hey, you know, when did old Highway 1 switch up? You know, try to be more exact. I just don't have time right here. Elmer Lewis thought little else that summer. A man on a mission. Summer passed into autumn as Debbie's smiling face was plastered on posters. If it's not hard to find Farm Road 11.2-0.3 in Newton County. For one thing, it's paved, something you won't find anywhere in the Ozarks. For another, it dead ends on a cul-de-sac about 2 miles. This is where we're going to be able to find it right here. Cul-de-sac about 2 miles from its mouth on US 71. So Farm Road, here we go. Farm Road 11.2. Okay, is there more? Dash 0.3. Ah, God. How about just 11.2? That did exist, it seemed like. Yeah. Farm Road 11.2, Newton County. Yeah, shit. Well, maybe if I zoom in, I can see it. And it dead ends in a cul-de-sac, right? That's David Lane, but boy, that looks pretty good. And it starts right there, right off of 71, like you said. So this is more 5 mile. Let's see what we got here. So probably now they've changed the names. Let me check something. Oh man, in Newton County. Yeah. Shoot. Come on, you don't have names. You don't have images of it. That's crazy. Man, it's brutal sometimes. You know, I might have thought could be that, not that one, but where was that one? The one that had the dead end right off, cul-de-sac on it. There's 71, but again, they were saying, you know, this is old Highway 71, right? So is it off of that? Well, that's about all I'm going to do on that for now. That's a tough one. Yeah, some of these, you know, they're so old that everything's changed. You know, this is 33 years ago. And you know how roads change names, or they build a community and now it's Johnson Street instead of county route number, you know, so you need some sort of historical deal. She never called. Not once did she pick up the telephone and dial her folks, her friends, anyone, to say I'm okay. It's not hard to find. Farm Road 11.2-0.3 in Newton County. For one thing, it's paved, something you won't find everywhere in the Ozarks. For another, it dead ends on a cul-de-sac about 2 miles from its mouth on US 71. You know what I'm going to do, though? Let me go up and see how long this has been here. If I can go to 1984, hey. Oh boy. And there you go, everybody. That's not there. Highway 81. You see that? It's not there in 1984. Let's see when it wasn't even there in 1990. And then it's there in 1996. So now we just proved that it is actually the other one. Should have checked that earlier. Wasn't it, where the hell was that? Right there. Old Highway 71. And then does it go any further across the way? Does it keep going down this way, maybe? And then over like this? But now it's called something else. I'll just stick with the old Highway 71. Yeah, old Highway 71. Well, they didn't rebuild it. It wasn't even there at all. So I'm pretty sure that that's still going to be it right here. And then it must end right there. Let me go back in time though. Yeah. Yeah. Well, all we know now is it's not the one that we thought it was. It's not this one. It's way over there. Hell, now I can't even find it. I don't even want to keep looking over there, though. It's just really frustrating. Because especially since the name of the road isn't even there anymore. Plenty of people live on the road. About a dozen houses dot the sloping terrain on either side, known to the locals as WPA Road. Huh. Plenty of trees, too, are there, especially the evergreens that, when chopped down on a brisk December day, make perfect Christmas trees. The couple was doing just that on December 10th. It was 57 degrees. The sun played hide-and-seek through the clouds, a shaft of light shadows. The couple found Debbie Sue Lewis. It takes a week for a body to decompose in the Ozarks, according to forensic pathologists. Lewis had been missing for 8 months. Nature had not been kind to her. She was a skeleton, identifiable only by dental records. The months had faded. The brilliant reds and blues of her Hawaiian shorts and the pink of her tank top, but not so much that investigators couldn't take one look and know to whom the clothes belonged. They had to be sure, though. Greene County detectives Warren Schmidt called Elmer and Marie Lewis to tell them of the find. They already heard Schmidt swallowed hard, and he had daughters Lewis' age, and asked Elmer and Marie Lewis for their daughters' dental records. She was quiet to the point of painful shyness. It's another shy person. She stayed close to home, close to her parents. She had no outraged boyfriend, no vengeful enemies. So why would someone want Kelly Workman dead? Well, that's, you got to ask that to a serial killer. So why would someone want to kill her? 2.5 years after Workman's disappearance, puzzled police still ponder the question. They have only these facts to consider. Workman, 24, was mowing the grass at the Dogwood Cemetery on Missouri 14, just up the road from her parents' Douglas County home. It was 6 p.m. Friday the 30th, 1989. It was hot and humid. It had rained earlier in the day. Then she was gone. No one saw her leave the cemetery. So this is Kelly Workman, another person. Is that the one? Is this on in here too? Yeah, that one's still unsolved. Or it was in 93. Let me see. Is it? Yeah, Kelly Workman. Yeah, mowing Dogwood Cemetery, located about 9 miles south of Seymour, near the intersection. I need to do all these. There's something crazy going on here. Yeah, that was 91 as well. Yeah, look at Dana Stidham and Dana. What year was that? 89. Yeah, that's also in here. Maybe we should be taking a look at some of these. So this article is talking about all of these. And Jane Doe is still listed in 93. This is 91. So this is where it probably first starts bringing that up. And they're all listed right up here. So there you go. So why don't I do these? In like a series. See what we can find at some point. Not tonight, but what do you think? Yeah, this was more like a work session night. Yeah, that one was so long I didn't want to get into it. Alright, let's see if she pops up anywhere else. So that was 91, 87, 75. I wonder what about her in 75. Looks like maybe she was in a sorority. Huh. Let me try like from 2000 to 2010. No. 1994 to 2000 or 1999. No. Now 2011 to 2020. Nothing. So that was about it. 1993, and yet some of those seem like they're still unsolved today. So I put those in a folder. We'll have to go check those other ones out now. But okay, there you go, everybody. I'm done. I think we were on here for 4 hours-ish. 3 hours and 10 minutes. Probably one of the worst nights for raising funds for the end of the month, but it is what it is. Every night can't be the same. It just, it's the part about the hours putting everything together, and then it's like, I guess sometimes things aren't as interesting, like people get excited about other cases, and some nights it's just not like that, It is what it is. Hopefully, though, at the end of the month, it all works out so that it all, the amount is still a good number that we can donate. It's all up to you guys. Well, it's me too, because I can give more. Like the last couple of months. Last month, I gave way more than the 25%. Because I wanted to keep it going. I wanted the same number. Oh, is that a high five? Thanks. But anyways, hey, listen, I appreciate you guys for hanging in there. I know it was kind of a slower slog tonight, sort of, working through some random case one just live right there. Unfortunately, couldn't find the exact location. Maybe Kubi will email me the location of the... Well, if you're on there now, then go ahead and tell me what it is, because we're right at the end of the show. Thank you, Dadio Caspian Horses Rock, Rebecca N, and Jen H. Yeah, that does look like a slow clap. Like, yeah. Thanks. Well, doesn't it just say in the book? Or what was the name of that thing? Was it Moore's? Let's do something else. Moore's Laundromat, okay? That's what it was called back in the day, right? Yeah, I just... yeah, but the thing is, it's not still a laundromat. It doesn't sound like. Because it says, it used to be a laundromat. Well, I guess what we could try is just... the other ones and see. Because they did say it was north of here, right? And that one doesn't look anything like it. Right there. I mean, that's just not... it's not even close. You know, it's... I mean, it could have been. You know, well, let's try this. There's where there's a laundromat. That's 1990. That's still... okay, so you don't have it? Alright. What about that building? What about this one right here? What if that was a laundromat? Man, that looks very similar. Hold on a second. Come on, everybody. Come on! I mean, this is different, but let's see. I can't go back to 1969. Well, actually, it can't be, because 2010... it, you could take a picture of it. It didn't look like that. Although it was being built. Hold on. Let me look at that one again. It had that paper on it. Carol Blades. And this is the... this is what it looked like. See, so you couldn't take that picture right there. And it's not that long at all. Yeah, darn it. It's nowhere near that deep. For a minute there, it was looking pretty. That does look like what a laundromat would look like. So there's that one. I wish I knew where the end of the town is. Like, you don't know where the border is. Like, leaving Nixa. Yep. Might have to email that. Hey, Kubi, you might have to email the artist. Well, here, let's try one last gasp here. I'm going to try this, okay? I'm going to go down to... I'm going to do something else. Here we go. www.google Maps. Yeah. Google... ah, shit. That doesn't go there. Google Maps. Nixa. MO. Okay, we got that. And I think it's right in this area. And what we'll do is we'll go to Street View here. This is the last gasp here. We'll go to Street View. However, up here, you can go back in time. And it looks like 2014. Okay, 2012. You can go back to... that building was still there in 2010. So that's one of the cool things about Google Earth, or the Street View, is you can do historical Street View. I guess there's a possibility we could stumble upon it. I was hoping for 2008, though. Well, you have it on your book that you got, right? Okay, anyways. That was my last gasp. I didn't see it. I needed to get... If it was 2008, then you'd know it was still there. Because it was 2010 it was. There's that cleaners. Let me try this spot. Okay, well, that's 2014. Huh. Yeah, you see it even there. Look how the difference is. 2014. That's 2015. 16. That stays the same. And then 2019, it's being renovated. Yeah, I've already seen that one. Rebecca. Yeah, you got the gray in there. Yeah. Yeah, we already went to that one like 10 minutes ago. It's not it. It's not even a laundromat anymore. It says it used to be one. Well, how would we Google the latitude and longitude without having the latitude and longitude? I'm not even sure what you mean by that, Libra scales. I have no idea. Yeah, you can Google. You just need to have the numbers to type in. Did the book have the latitude and longitude in it? Yeah, why am I still here? It's 11:40. Okay. All right, I'm not even gonna do a flyby or anything. I gotta go to sleep. I gotta rest this thing. It's weird, you know, on the back of the shoulders, you can tell where every day it gets really sore where they strapped it down. Who's they? Yeah, this is just it's the wrong one though. Rebecca, it's still a laundromat now. I'm just saying wasn't one. Well, I don't know if it is one now, but it's not the right place. So, anyways, hey, listen, everybody, I really appreciate you guys showing up tonight and hanging out, checking out these cases. You know, it sucks because the other case took so long. It took like hours, but it's so long that I didn't want to start it. So maybe I'll do that one tomorrow at the beginning, and then we'll cut over and look into those other cases because they're all in the same area anyways, all of them. The one we're gonna do tomorrow though is solved, but they didn't solve it for like 25 years, and then you sort of wonder, gosh, what did that guy, was he part of something else? So that's why it's kind of interesting. All right, so thank you to, let's see, Michelle Nicholas, Lee Dobby, Kit Kat, Liz Parsons, Felicia Abbott, Nan Sullivan, Miskus, Zozo again, Julie W, Lee Dobby, Jessica Schubach, Lee Dobby, Allie Cake, Sarita, Julie W, Alley Cake, Wally Gator, Zozo, Daudio Caspian Horses Rock, Rebecca N, and Jen H. So thank you guys for, at least we're keep on trucking, right? Let's see. I gotta check one other thing. Okay. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting my new visor, though. Hopefully it matches the show. Nah, I don't think so. I bet I tell you that out of all of the places, the laundromat that I had matched almost exactly how it was described in one article. It said it was south of that main road on 160, and it has the right shape. It's not right on 160. It was a laundromat. Unfortunately, the satellite imagery shows that it wasn't there in 1990. So that just throws it right in the garbage can. I didn't even notice that. Yeah. That's right, Daudio Caspian versus Rock. I know, some nights are just, people are all donated out. It's just the way it is, I guess. But I'll still be doing my shows. I still do the shows. But tonight's show is a little bit more discombobulated than normal ones. You know how I had the one and the other story was too big, and then we did a live one going at the same time. Gray's and Danielle's work? Who's Danielle? What are you talking about? Buff was the sheriff who sucked. Or, whoever was investigating. All right, everybody. Yeah, so make sure that you still are wearing your mask when you go out. As a matter of fact, keep wearing it all the time when you go out in public. I think that's one of the reasons that the cases are dropping, is that almost everybody now is smart enough to be wearing their masks when they're out in public with other people. Okay, so keep doing that, and do your social distancing, that kind of thing. And that's it. All right. So, anyways, thank you guys very much. And as I always say, everybody, till next time, be safe out there. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person. Hey, that is
Mary Lou, where the hell are you?
Crime dissector.
I'm right here. What are you talking about?
Lie detector.
Gonna get ya.
I'll stretch ya if you try and play me like an old
projector.
Crime sector is my nectar.
Hey, you took my line.
Crime collector, freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a pup protector. Deflector, interceptor, and I'm meaner than a spectre with a vector on his pector with all respect. Just remember, I've a temper fucking check ya.
I have no agenda.
I'm a pretender, and I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender.
Yay, all
Yeah,
right.
so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody?
Okay, hey, that was a pretty long show there.
Yeah, it sure was, Mary Lou. Okay, can we try to get through this one? Okay. Good night, Mary Lou.
That almost sounded like a song.
Oh, God. Okay. Good night, Mary Lou.
God, you're so beat, John boy. Good night, John boy. You're so mean.
Boo-hoo-hoo.
Oh, by the way, I did hear from Trace Elements. She's doing fine. She had some stuff she had to take care of. She'll be back soon, and then we'll explain where the hell she was. All right. So she is out there, everybody. She is out there. All right, everybody. Be safe out there. Hey, I'll leave the chat on for a while for you guys to chat away if you'd like.